I wanted to mention a quick tip while I'm doing this here. Since we're not supposed to technically grind aluminum with any type of grinding wheel on a high-speed grinder, right here you're looking at the angle iron strake ribs on the boat that I added for reinforcement, and I have to round them over so that they hold paint better than they would if they were a sharp edge like angle iron is. Grinding would take forever to do all of these, and I'm actually using a circular saw to take out the majority of the material. If you can see that, it's hard to see. You can see the little blade chip marks. That's flat, what you're looking at right there from the circ blade going over it. Just want to give a quick demo. You didn't see this here. I don't recommend doing this. It's just a swiping motion gently with two steady arms, and it's so fast. And then when you come back with a grinder, you don't have to hardly do anything but touch it up to round it in. Alright, so we got the bottom of the boat all finished, ready for paint. I did a few things here, aside from patching the area where the rock hit was, where the old spoon was. I had to remake the intake grate a little bit thicker due to it cracking, and then I also went ahead and added angle aluminum to each strake rib to help both for protection and for adding a little bit of extra rigidity to the hull. I just skip welded the pieces in and I rounded them kind of like the factory strake ribs would have been. Nothing too fancy. Came out pretty nice. So the patch is in. Everything's ready to seal on the bottom here. There's the grate. It's much heavier duty than the first one that I built. I have them knife edge beveled on the bottom side, but non-beveled on the top side. Keep them flat so that it doesn't help rocks get jammed in there. Here you can see the old intake grate, which kept cracking one at a time. I had to keep cutting pieces off it. How much heavier duty this one is than that one. So hopefully that'll do the trick this time around. And then I also went ahead and shaped the trim tabs that I added. They were just chunks of regular 1-inch angle aluminum, but I figured that I could get a little bit more speed back out of the boat by shaping them a little bit, since I feel like they were probably overkill before I removed some of the material from them. You can see it was just standard pieces of angle aluminum welded in. Gives it a nice trim angle. A little downward trim, which completely fixed the porpoising. We tried everything. Everyone seems to talk about weight distribution for porpoising, and that was not the case with this build. I ended up putting 500 pounds in the front of this boat and it still porpoised. So what it came down to for me was it needed trim. Basically the boat was going too fast for the hull design, and there wasn't enough boat in the water, and it would start kind of trying to take flight, which would result in a bouncing porpoise. And the only thing that cured it, like I said, was those tiny little trim tabs there. Alright, so we're all prepped up and ready to go with the Wetlander bottom coating. About to start mixing it up. Took the paint off the bottom, taped it up. I actually went ahead and added a small spoon to the intake this time. Just Bondo only on this spoon. It's hard to see with the reflection, but decent little rise in it to help feed the pump. So it's a two-part process. Today is going to be the primer coat, and then tomorrow I'll finish up with the top coat. Let's get her done. Just wanted to share a quick tip that I'm using here. This is a two-part kit. I'm on the top coat now today. So it would have normally been add that small bottle to that big jug, mix it and go. But I decided to take the two-part and make it a four-part, which will give me 2 pot lives of a total of 2 hours instead of a single pot life at 1 hour. Because when I did the primer, I ended up throwing away over half of it because it started to dry on me. So we're going to go ahead with this today. We split it equally. If you're going to do it, make sure you get measuring cups like this so you can pour them exactly identically 50-50. 50 of the catalyst in the yellow and then 50 of the paint, split equally between, you know, this 4-piece like this, which will give me, like I said, an extended double pot lifetime, so I can hopefully use more of the product. See how it goes. And here we are, Wetlander coating's done. I ended up getting 4 coats on the top coat, and I used the entire product after I split it in half, like I said. I roughed up the sides for the black paint. I'm going to shoot the whole boat black now. Getting ready for that. Got the grate mounted up, the new reinforced grate. It's probably, you know, twice as heavy as the last one, much beefier. And there you can see the spoon that I made out of Bondo right in front of the grate. It's hard to see with the reflection here of the slick coat, but try and get a better angle. It's just a small little spoon, but it will have probably a decent amount of effectiveness. It runs smooth right into the contour of the intake, which is the whole point of the spoon. So here we are. I forgot to film the paint job finish after I did it. This is a 1.5 years later at the time I'm editing this video, and you can see there's multiple scum line layers and some chipping from running up on the shorelines. There's actually an overlap here. You can see the faded line, the black line where the tape was. So this is chipping because that blue paint is the bottom slick coat, and you know, obviously should have thought that through more. You know, it's going to chip off there, especially with the slick coat underneath that paint. Nothing's going to stick to that stuff. So other than that, if this was washed up a little better, you'll see at the end shot, the finished shot of it washed up. You know, we got some scuffs and stuff from docks, but just give you a shot of the texture of it. It's a bed paint, a bed liner. It's a T-Rex brand. It's not the Raptor liner. It's a newer product. They named it T-Rex because T-Rexes eat Raptor liner. So the T-Rex kit comes with a gun, and it's a 2-part system. You just basically mix one jug into another jug and then screw the jug onto the gun that was supplied. And it comes out thick and heavy and fast. It was a beautiful experience working with this paint compared to automotive paints I've worked with. You can't mess these paint jobs up. I mean, if you have no experience, you'll see it to someone that has experience. Mine came out beautifully. It took minutes. It took longer to mix the paint than it did to spray the paint and finish the project. Very pleased with the T-Rex kit. Highly recommend it. It's, if you're looking for a step above rattle cans, but you're kind of in the price range of rattle cans, I would absolutely look into the T-Rex liner. And I don't know if I ever shot the finishing work of the frame cage I made there to protect the pump and everything, and the reverse bucket. I didn't have a bender, so I filled the pipes, the aluminum pipes, with sand and heated them up and minimized the crimps that I got. It's not perfect, but I don't care about that. This boat's been used heavily, and it works how I need it to. Threw some HydroTurf scraps on it, and Amazon stainless swim ladder. We use the heck out of that thing. So yeah, let's take a look at it when the boat's finished and washed up in the sunlight.